Welcome to another edition of Quick Bites, FCC ETC edition. In this one we'll be talking about several trends on the periodic table of elements that you'll need to know for your first exam. The first trend is atomic size, or the relative size of an atom including its electron orbitals. This is a fairly easy one to remember. Size decreases as you move to the right and up, and increases as you move down and left on the table. The downward increase is easy to explain. As the period number increases, another electron shell is added. You can think of it as adding another layer of electrons, making the total size of all of the orbitals larger. The decrease in size to the right is almost as intuitive. For neutral atoms, as you add more and more protons and electrons, the charges have a greater attraction to one another. The electrons never actually fall into the nucleus because quantum electrodynamics, but the more there are, the more they try to, and each successive element gets a tiny bit smaller. The second trend is metallic character, and this is another one that's easy to remember if you recall that the nonmetals are all towards the upper right of the table. Most periodic tables even have either a color coding or at least a little zigzag to show you where the two groups meet. So you can tell pretty easily that as you move down and to the left, the metallic character of the element increases. The third trend is ionization energy, which is closely tied with electronegativity, so we'll talk about them both together. Ionization energy is the minimum energy required to remove a valence electron, which is easiest for elements in group 1, which is why they like to form ions with a +1 charge. It's most difficult for the noble gases, and second hardest for the halogens, who would much rather gain an electron than to lose one, to form ions with a -1 charge. So, ionization energy increases as you move up and to the right, and decreases as you move down and left. Ionization energy does have some scattered exceptions, and also hydrogen because, well, it's hydrogen, but this is the general trend. Electronegativity is essentially the opposite, the tendency of an atom to attract electrons, but because it's how strongly they attract electrons, not remove them, electronegativity also increases as you move up and to the right on the periodic table, which means, of course, it decreases as you move down and left. There are even more minor exceptions here, especially with the transition elements, but the general trend still holds mostly for the main group except, again, for hydrogen. Well, those are the trends that you'll need to remember for Chem 3A. You'll get to know them well. I've been Jay, and thank you for joining me for this quick bite.